Welcome to Lives Live. I am Jesper Koll, and I'm absolutely delighted to be the moderator in this next panel discussion here. And what we do want to do is we want to talk about the importance of inclusive leadership. It's a little bit corporate, but we do want to give some hints for corporate leaders on how to benefit from inclusive leadership and how that can benefit overall corporate performance.
So inclusiveness is actually part of Sony's stated vision. We have 4 stated visions, and inclusiveness is certainly right in there with the other 3. And we do a lot of different initiatives internally with our employees and all of our stakeholders. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today, in the interest of time, was a company called Sony Taiyo that we have down in the island of Kyushu in Oita Prefecture, where we employ about 185, 190 people, and about 2/3 of the employees are either physically or mentally challenged. They manufacture very high-end professional broadcast microphone equipment. They also manufacture very high-end consumer audio products and headphones. And when I say very high-end, some of these headphones cost about $2,000 to $3,000. So this is really high-end. So I think it's a testament to the fact that we are entrusting a very important product for Sony with the employees at Sony Taiyo. Now, not only do we have these kinds of organizations in Sony because it's the right thing to do, but in fact, because we have various employees with different kinds of challenges, it's incumbent upon the engineers to come up with creative ways to create pods and manufacturing lines that cater to the individual challenges that they have. That allows them to really think outside the box of how to create manufacturing lines. And what that does is it has a rub-off effect on all the other Sony manufacturing facilities, because when they are up with some manufacturing and engineering challenges, they actually ask Sony Taiyo because they're the experts in thinking outside the box. So not only are the employees at Sony Taiyo contributing to a great product lineup at Sony, they're also an integral part of designing and engineering manufacturing lines across the globe.
Because leaders make choices, and those choices create culture. What could we do if we had 500 casts? What could we do if we had 500 organizations with the same spirit and value of Sony for full inclusion? Well, you know what we could do? We could potentially end the disability inequality crisis that affects actually nearly 20% of our population. It's now 1.3 billion. 90% of children who have a disability don't get into a classroom. You're 50% less likely to have a job and experience poverty. And the scale of this issue cannot be resolved without the most powerful force on this planet, which is business. And the way we believe inclusive business creates inclusive society. What business values, society values. So how can we create inclusive business? Through leaders.
Sometimes, particularly here in Japan, right? I mean,
Yes.
people say, oh, as long as you employ X%, right, then you tick the box and everything's fine. And you're basically saying, well, you got to be much, much better than that. It's got to be the commitment from the leadership.
But it's not about employment either, Jesper. This is about connecting employment to value. You heard Cass speaking about this. There's no point in forcing a business to employ if they have a charitable mindset. This is an opportunity which is considerable. What business would leave $8 trillion on the table?
And there's a lot of pushback. The way to avoid pushback is to make sure that the top person or the top management team always talks about it. They're always asking about it. And when you're saying that you're committed, you have to really make sure that you're acting on it as well. You can't just say we're committed to diversity and inclusion and mention it every year at a corporate meeting and then forget about it. And that's what makes sure that organizations will start to turn eventually, because when the CEO is talking about it all the time, then people understand it's an important corporate initiative, not because it's on a piece of paper, but because the CEO is always talking about it and he's also acting on it.
This is also about brand. Okay? You think about a company like Sony that has the integrity around that brand, and this is about a brand attracting and retaining the best talent. Consumers wanting to use their money to buy from products. I think there's a really important time we're in at the moment when our millennial and our next generation are demanding full inclusion from the companies they either choose to have a career with or spend money with. And I think when we're speaking to some of the stats that exist, did you know that 90% of the companies in the world claim to be passionate about inclusion, but only 4% have evidence to say they're considering disability like Sony? Now you think about that and what that reputational damage is. Well, the only thing that we have in common as human beings is that we're different. So let's look at that. So difference is the only thing that we have in common, and that's the homogeneity that we have. We each have individually unique and valuable difference.